Hey everybody, Wes here with Scamps Automotive. Today I want to talk to you about electronic parking brakes. There's a special procedure you have to do using the scan tool in order to release these parking brakes to service the rear brake pads. This, in my experience, this is only found exclusively on German stuff. Volvo, Volkswagen, Audi, Mercedes, they use these electronic parking brakes. You know what, Subaru has them now too. So I'll show you what it looks like. So this is the whole caliper, brake caliper here, but this big black part, this is the electronic mechanism, and these calipers are a little bit different where, you know, most calipers just push directly in and out and you can use a C-clamp or something to push the calipers in. Well, this one spins in and out, but unless you go through this procedure with the scan tool to release it, you're not going to be able to spin these pistons back in order to service the brakes. And the way this works is it actually uses the caliper piston, the same piston that applies your brakes under normal circumstances, to apply your parking brake, which is why you have to release it. So I'll show you what's going on. I'll show you what we got to do. This is a 2016 Volvo XC60. So I'm using a Maxicom MX808 to do this. It's under the service section. It has some bi-directional controls with this scan tool. So you have to have the ignition on, engine off. This is what needs to happen here. So let me turn the engine off. So you just hold the start button, put the ignition on. Now, there's a couple modes at the bottom. Apply the parking brake, activate service mode, and installation check. So I want to activate service mode. It says wait. Now you can hear the calipers releasing back there. Definitely be able to hear them spinning, and this is just going to roll. It's going to tell you to wait and wait and wait. Okay, completed. So now you can see left brake pad extended release, service mode, and the right service mode, both of them yes. So we're good to go. Alright, so now I'm going to show you the actual service part of pushing this caliper back in. Along with that scan tool, you're going to need a specialty kit. This is a Cornwell, but you can get a very similar kit at Harbor Freight. That's pretty cheap. And the way it works is you have all these different adapters. So you see this apparatus here is threaded, and it essentially just pushes and spins the caliper in. But I'll show you the top of the piston, you know, has grooves in it right there, and those grooves, you're gonna need to find the right adapter plate. So you'll see this plate here has a little notch right there that goes into the grooves, so you're able to spin it. And so this is gonna go like so. You get that inside the groove, then you're gonna spin this until it's tight. And really the easiest way, you can spin the top handle, but even with it released, it still takes quite a bit of force. Plus, what I found is sometimes this rubber boot around the caliper piston catches and it starts twisting the boot. So the best way to do this is just to put a wrench right here, and then as you start turning it, you'll see that the piston is moving inwards. Now, you have to do that service release portion of this, because if you don't, this thing is locked solid. Many years ago, when I was a younger technician, I was doing rear brakes on a Volkswagen. I had no idea about this setup and what you had to do. And so I'm sitting here with a tool very similar to this, just cranking on the caliper, so much so that this part right here just started to to bend. I was putting so much force on it and the thing wouldn't move. I later come to find out, well, you have to put it in a service mode to release it. So I know that's a bummer for any of you trying to do your brakes at home on a German car, but I will say that I have done this without a scan tool. I don't recommend it, but really on your connector on the back of this thing, it's just the two terminal connector right here, power and a ground. So all I did was I disconnected it, used my power probe, put ground, clipped the ground on, and then jumped power straight to it, and it spun the caliper in, and then when I was done I spun it back out. So that's another way you can do it. It's not nearly as legit as the service deal with the scan tool, but I understand unless you're a professional mechanic, you probably don't have a scan tool like that. So at any rate, just some very important things you need to know before working on German brakes that have an electronic parking brake. From Scamps Automotive, keep on wrenching.